Hello again, welcome along to the SUTV show as Sheffield United get ready for a trip to Brentford this weekend. But before we get to that, let's take a look back at that 2-2 draw with Chelsea last time out. Carl Asaba alongside me. So many positives from that game, Carl.
Yeah, really good display. As a team, individually, everything. We're seeing the growth of the team and the development, and following on from a really good display at Liverpool, where the organisation was wonderful. We took it into the home game where we haven't fared as well, and I thought the boys were really good.
A really good point, but perhaps a tinge of disappointment that it wasn't more?
Oh, massively disappointed. At half-time, I could only see us going on and taking the game because we got stronger in the second half in the last couple of games, and we looked better. And I felt that the way we'd approached it, we were going, the confidence was growing. And the atmosphere, the stadium, the fans were really positive. And I was really disappointed for the lads that they didn't get 3 points because they thoroughly deserved it. They worked their socks off, but the technical, when they had the ball, they were so good.
Let's talk about the 2 goals that the Blades scored. I mean, the first one was really well crafted. The pass from Harmer was exquisite, wasn't it? The way he took out 2 or 3 defenders like that.
Yeah, and we've in the recent games we've scored some really good goals. It's not that we're at the bottom and we're scoring scrappy goals that are lucky. Gus has got, I think in the last couple of games he's getting fitter. And he's able to perform at his top level for longer in the game. And that ball, with his left foot, he's reversed it behind. Brilliant pass. And Bogle, again, in the last couple of games, his shooting, he's been so confident, his shooting's been great. The keeper, we're all waiting for the cutback because Brereton Diaz was running across the near for the pullback. And Bogle, what a great finish, so clever, brilliant finish.
That's 10 goal contributions now for Gustavo Harmer, first Blades player to get to double figures in that regard, 4 goals, 6 assists. We're seeing, aren't we, why Sheffield United brought him here in the first place. Have you seen a change in his game in recent weeks?
Well, his technical ability I think is brilliant. I personally think he's getting fitter and fitter. And his performances are improving because of that. He set up a goal, then he's tracking back, he's in his own area. He's now box to boxing, whereas I felt in the start of the season he was one or the other. He was either attacking really well or defending really well, not so much box to box. Now he seems so physically, improved. He's up and down. Don't forget, he almost scored a wonder goal as well. He's come across the shot so he could slice it, and unfortunately he didn't catch, as much slice as he needed. But wonder strike, and we all know why Coventry fans were bitterly disappointed to see him go, because he's been eye-catching all season, hasn't he?
And the 2 subs made a big impact, didn't they, in terms of the equalising goal. Vinny Souza keeping the ball alive, and then obviously Cameron Archer helping the ball on to McBurney.
Yeah, it was great to see Cameron back. He he's a spiky player. I've liked seeing him this season because he's not just about. So he ruffles feathers in the opposition, and he's there. Chelsea had brought on an extra centre half, a big, tall, 6 foot something centre half to try and see the game out, and it's Cameron Archer winning the header to keep the ball alive, and McBurney getting on the end of it and finishing in front of the clock in the dying seconds. So that was brilliant. And Vinny came on, which the manager had made some big changes from, he'd dropped Vinny and put in Ben Osborne, and I thought Ben did brilliant. But I'm hoping that gets a reaction from Vinny because, Ben came in and Ben worked his socks off, and I think that the heart of the performance and the result was down to the work ethic on top of everything else. And there's been improved performances again week on week now from Anel, who was absolutely outstanding against Chelsea. He was brilliant against Liverpool. So, the manager's making these changes. He put Robbo captain to free up Anel to concentrate on his games, and his performances have been so much better. And no coincidence that the team performances have improved as well.
Yeah, it's nice to be talking about positives for a change, isn't it? And we've seen so many in the last few weeks. Ollie Arblaster, I mean, I'll never get tired of talking about him, and fans are waxing lyrical about him. There's all kind of memes and clips out there on social media, which I'm not sure is a good idea when you want to keep hold of a player like that. But what he brings to the team is phenomenal. And what really impresses me about him is he demands the ball in tight situations and very rarely gives it away.
Oh yeah, he has been a revelation. We've been lucky this season. We've seen Andre Brooks come to the fore, Asula come to the fore, and Arblaster. I wasn't even sure we were going to get to see him because he came back injured and thought might get the odd cameo as a sub. He has just taken it on, hasn't it? I'm sat up with Jagielka at Anfield, and he's going, I'm really excited to see Arblaster playing. So, that's football now. Football's all talking about the lad. I got told off on social media for hyping him up, but surely we're allowed to give some players credit when they're doing well. Our poor players have been under the hammer all season. This young lad's come out, he's playing so well. We're not telling him to go off and be a movie star and end up in Cannes and this, that and the other. Just, you're doing well. Well done, son, because all the fans are cheering his name. He's a lifelong blade. He's got onto the pitch and he's letting his feet do the talking. He's playing outstanding. He's not doing this, pointing there and pointing that. He's actually doing the work and he's standing out, and long may this continue.
Has his introduction maybe allowed Gus to shine a bit more? We spoke about Gus before. The fact that he is there covering the ground so well as he does, has that maybe given Gus a bit more freedom? How has his arrival in the team impacted others around him, do you feel?
Yeah, well, he does give you the safety that if you do break forward, he's there. I thought against Liverpool, so much of Arblaster's good work was actually out of possession. Yeah. He wasn't affecting, playing a 30-yard pass or a 40-yard pass. He was filling a hole where Liverpool were looking to exploit. And same again against Chelsea. Chelsea are looking to penetrate the lines, and our defence and midfield was so compact. So much credit to the coaching staff and the manager for the way they've got our defensive unit together, because it's making it hard for these teams to go through. We're allowing them to go wide, and like with Liverpool, until the keeper error, we were sort of comfortable. They had a lot of possession, but we knew what we were doing. And Arblaster is doing such a good job in filling the holes and getting forward. It does give the players around him a bit of confidence that, well, actually, I can go for this run now because I know he's going to cover me. He's got the legs to cover me, and more importantly, he's got the knowledge. He's got such a good football brain that he can see somebody doing something and he'll adjust his own position. It's not, rigid, I'm supposed to be here. That person's gone, let me fill in. It's just been so good to watch.
And it's so good to see Carl smiling for a change as well. More from Carl a little bit later on. We'll also look ahead to the game at Brentford this coming weekend. But we're going to take a little look now at an initiative set up by the Premier League called Premier League Kicks, which offers kids from all backgrounds the opportunity to play the beautiful game. It was held at the UMIX Centre here in Sheffield recently. Rhys Norrington-Davis went down to take a look also, and let's see how everyone got on.
Kicks is a community-based project where it gives people the opportunity to play football and to enjoy the sport that they love. I myself got the opportunity as a volunteer and was able to coach a couple of tournaments. From then, got a qualification and a job, and now I'd say I'm an ambassador of Sheffield United Community Foundation now. It's embedding people within our culture, but also it's appropriation with other culture as well, and ensuring that we're not leaving certain individuals out. Everyone can play. Everyone needs to feel welcome, because the language isn't this language. The language is football, so that's the language we have.
It's good to see the variety of different backgrounds down here today. It shows it doesn't really matter what colour skin you've got, where you come from, who you are. If you can unite playing football, then that's the way forward.
Society as a whole may have its injustices, but like I've just said, football is a sport for all, no matter what gender, no matter what background. I feel like when kids come to our sessions at Kicks, we don't look at the colour of their skin, we don't look at what gender they are. We just want them to have fun and have the best opportunity to play football with us.
Cameron, first of all, how good is it to be back from injury?
Yeah, it feels good. I couldn't wait to be back. It was a long 6-7 weeks, and just happy to be back. Yeah.
It was a calf issue, right?
Yeah.
How did you get that? Remind us.
It was in a Luton game. I kind of felt it when I was running around a little bit, and then I just thought it was tightness. So I got a scan in the end, and it was just a calf strain. So
Yeah, it must be so frustrating when you're desperate to try and affect things out on the pitch and you can't.
Yeah, like I said, it was the Luton game when I just scored as well. So I was just a bit frustrated when I got the news. So yeah.
You wouldn't have been short on company, though. I mean, this club's had a horrendous run with injuries this season. Is it important that the injured lads stick together and try and keep levels up, as it were, morale up?
Yeah. The physio rooms it's a busy place at the moment, so I just think we just got to stick together, encourage each other, and try and be out there as quick as we can.
Yeah, good group of lads here.
Yeah, obviously experienced lads here who've been here quite a few years now. Like I said, I'm just enjoying it and just learn.
And you've scored in the Premier League. You've got 4. I think you've got 2 at home, 2 away. You'd be keen to add to that, won't you, before the season ends?
Yeah, definitely. I just want to score goals, don't I? So something that obviously I try and achieve every game and even in training and stuff. So yeah.
You got an assist last week. Do you take as much satisfaction from notching the odd assist along the way as well?
Yeah, I said to Ollie after the game when you finally got on the end of one of mine. So I was happy with the assist in the end. Obviously in the game I was just something just told me to flick it on, and I just flicked it on, and then Ollie Mack got on the end of it. So
it was a really good team performance. I suspected there was a little bit of disappointment that you didn't take all 3 points out of that game. Was that a view that was shared in the dressing room afterwards?
Yeah, we knew what Chelsea were like. They've had their ups and downs. Obviously coming to Brentford Lane, we knew we needed to try and get those 3 points. I just thought we try. Obviously, it depends on how the game goes as it goes on. I thought in the end we could have tried to get those 3 points, but in the end it was only 1. But I thought the lads done well.
There's so much to build from, I think, isn't there? Especially from the last 4 games. You've drawn 3 of them. There was the defeat at Liverpool where you played well in for a long period. Is that now the level that you've got to try and strive for, and beyond that maybe, in the games that are left? But that has to be a minimum.
Yeah, I think so. I think our only problem is we don't get going until we actually score. I think we need to start going from the start. You know what I mean? So we play good football. We have the energy as well after we score usually. So.
And Brentford next as a test. How do you see that? I mean, they're not completely safe themselves, but they have been an established Premier League club now for a few years.
Yeah, when we played them last time at home, I thought we did very well. Obviously, last game they didn't have Tony or Bremo. They're good players, so I think they'll have him this time, but I think we can give him a good game.
What do you make of Ivan Toney and his progression and where he's been and where he's got to?
I think he's a very good player. Holds the ball well, strong, physical. He's always at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and the aim for you on a personal level between now and the end of the season, what is that?
Score goals, contribute, and it's still possible to keep Sheffield United up.
Fingers crossed, Dave. Thanks very much indeed for your time. Thank you. There you go. That's Cameron Archer, who we wish the very best of luck at Brentford this weekend. And if you're already starting to look towards next season, you can book your seat now. Season tickets are on sale right now.
It may not be our day, but we'll be back. Setbacks are not the end of our journey. They're merely detours on the road to success. Every stumble is an opportunity to rise stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. Challenges knock us down. They never kept us down. We're from Sheffield. We're built on hardship. It's in our blood. So let's dust ourselves off and go again.
So Carl, the Blades off to Brentford this weekend, trying to keep this little run of momentum going. How do you see this one?
It's a tricky game. Brentford are struggling for form themselves. There's been lots going on off the field where the owners are saying that it's time for him to sell the club, and everything just seems to be petering out. And I'm hoping it can continue on Saturday. But we've got to be mindful. They've got great players throughout the squad, and some of the best strikers, Ivan Toney, Mbemba, they've got some really, really good players. So it's going to be tricky, but I'm feeling the way the team's going at the moment and the confidence is growing. Even in the Liverpool match, you're taking positives from all the last 4 games. It's a good game.
Yeah, and as a group of players, there'll be an element of belief now, won't there, within this group that they can go there and get something?
Yeah, I think they understand the manager's mentality now, that you don't have to win the game in the first 5 minutes, but you can lose it in this division because the quality of the opposition, if you go gun-ho, you can be 2-0 down and really struggling. I think everyone seems to have bought into the stay in the game as long as possible and try and take your chances. It's the trouble the manager's having is to field his strongest 11. He seems to be having to pick due to fitness rather than form. But in that, you've got players who are getting fitter and fitter, as we said. Harmer, you've got Arblaster, who just played, well, it's not even 90 minutes now anymore, is it? He's played 120 minutes in the last game. You've got players who are finding fitness, and I'm hoping McBurney, because when you see the likes of McBurney and Brereton Diaz up against you, they're causing all teams problems. They're linking up well. There was some wonderful link-up play again in the match. There was a ball fired into Ben on the halfway line. He's done this blind flick round the corner to McBurney, and you need them playing more and more to get this understanding because they're doing so well. So I'm hoping we get a fresh bill of injury. Definitely hoping our skipper Robbo has recovered from the knock he took against Chelsea. But I think there'll be a lot of optimism going in there. No one getting carried away. It's a really tough proposition playing away at Brentford, but I think there'll be a lot of optimism.
It's a fixture that brings back happy memories, of course, from the game at Bramall Lane, that wonderful goal from James McAtee to win it earlier in the season.
Yeah, when he cut in, I remember he hit it so hard. I'm watching the flight of the ball, and then it's just hit the net. A wonderful moment from a wonderful player who's had so many highlights this season. And we don't know. He was subbing the last game. Will he be starting? It's nice that we've got these sort of players that aren't necessarily starting, but it's intriguing.
So what are you going for on Saturday?
I'm really optimistic. I think we'll get at worst a point, but I'm hoping for 3, of course. But I think worst a point and another battling display.
But the level's been set now, hasn't it? Over the last 4 games, even factoring in the Liverpool defeat, where the performance for a long period was really good. So you can look at the last block of 4 fixtures and the manager certainly will, and say to the players, that's what you've got to hit now in the games that are left. There's something to strive for in that regard, isn't there?
Oh, for definite. And there's still our place in the Premier League up for grabs. We've been told that it's 2% probability that we stay up, but that 2%, it's still there. You get a point or 3 points away at Brentford, and you're going forward. But I feel the performance level has stabilised, and it's, the fans away at Liverpool, our away fans were clapping, the Liverpool fans were clapping. At home, we drew against Chelsea, and there's a standing ovation. The players are giving us what we're hoping to see. The guile is there, the ability is there, and the hunger's there. So if they take that into Saturday, whatever score, we'll be proud of them.
Carl, thank you, and don't forget to join us next week when we preview the game against Burnley at Bramall Lane. Take care. Bye-bye.